Hey guys, Bobby Bollinger here, and today I'm bringing you my Week 5 predictions for the NFL's 2018 season. Last week I went 10 and 5, bringing my season total to 37 to 26. So I'm starting to get back up there. Okay, first game, Colts versus Patriots. The Colts might actually win this. Like, our defense has actually been good despite the Cincinnati game. And I looked it up, and we apparently have the fantasy leader for defensive players, Darius Leonard, above J.J. Watt, above Khalil Mack. Who knew? And we've got another guy up there too. I think it's Denico Autry. I I don't know what happened. We got an offensive coordinator. I didn't know he did defense so well. So the Colts, we actually have a shot at this because we like to run the ball, even though we're not good at it. And against the Patriots, we would actually be good at it. So I can see us winning this game. That doesn't mean I think we're going to. I think the Patriots are going to win this 27 to 17, but I think there's a decent chance the Colts win this. Why they had a Thursday night game of Colts and Patriots set up as a primetime game, I don't know. Because they did that before they knew the Patriots would fall and the Colts would be better, but whatever. All worked out in the end. Broncos versus Jets. The Jets started out looking good and have just been crap since. Sam Darnold, not too good. The Broncos, on the other hand, have been a bit of a mixed bag. The defense has been good. The passing game has been terrible. And, in a little surprise, the run game has been insane. Like, not better than expected, not good, not even great. Absolutely insane. They have one rusher, Philip Lindsay. He's getting 5 yards a carry, and he's had quite a few carries too, like 44 at this point, I think. The other guy, I don't know his name, he's got 49 attempts or something, and he's at 5.9 yards a carry. Both of those numbers are absolutely insane. And for a defensive team, running the ball that well, you're gonna win a lot of games. Now, the issue is that Case Keenum has failed miserably. 3 touchdowns in week 1, and no touchdowns since, just 6 interceptions. And he's kind of the reason they've lost some games. Like, they have always had close games. The games they've won, they almost lost. The games they've lost, they almost won. So this Broncos team is probably a middle-of-the-road team where they're not contenders yet, but next season, if that quarterback improves, or if Chad Kelly, I think it is, ends up being as good as people think he is, then they could be contenders. And either way, they're better than the Jets, and they'll beat them 28 to 13. Packers versus Lions. I have not seen much of either of these teams. I saw the Lions beat the Patriots, and they haven't done anything to match that since. I saw the Packers beat the Bears, and they've been about the same ever since. I don't think either team is really that good, but Packers 35-24. Aaron Rodgers can carry his team a bit better than Matthew Stafford carries his. Giants against Panthers. The Giants' offense it's weird. Like, usually the O-line is just failing, period. No questions about it. But against the Saints last week, I saw a Giants offensive line that was actually good. It actually protected Eli Manning. In fact, the issue seemed to be that Eli Manning didn't think he'd get that kind of protection and was playing scared behind an offensive line that was doing perfectly fine. I mean, I can understand why he's playing scared. They have not done well all year or any of last year, so it makes sense that by now he's just playing scared, but playing scared is holding this offense back. They do need to take some more risks, and they will be scoring more points if they do. Now, the Panthers, coming off of a bye week, usually doesn't help a team, I've noticed. It's like they're rusty and they just don't play as well. Still, the Panthers have a good defense, and their offense should be able to get it done, and they'll win 24-17. Titans versus Bills. Well, the Bills are back to reality, and the Titans have actually made quite a run, haven't they? Because it's been 2 weeks in a row now that they've beaten a Super Bowl contender. They beat the Jaguars, and then they beat the Eagles. And that's just really, really weird, because I don't think they're that good a team, but you don't do that unless you have some actual talent on your roster. Much like the Broncos, I don't think the Titans are contenders this year, but next year, if they get the right people, they can do it. And they're certainly better than the Bills now. They beat them 27-10. Falcons versus Steelers. Two teams that are in panic mode right now. They have great offenses, but the defense has just let them down terribly. Now, I think the Falcons will take this 42-35 because their defense has let them down a bit less, and their offense has stayed better than the Steelers have. But with such a high-scoring game, it can go either way. Ravens against Browns. Oh, I didn't get to watch the Browns game, but when I saw the stats of the game and saw that Baker Mayfield had 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles, I just thought, oh no, how do they look? And then I looked at them and I thought, oh, that's not actually that bad. Because Baker Mayfield's first interception was thrown for a pick 6. Usually that's because they lock on to a receiver who's going out to the side, left or right. Usually left, I've noticed. And they just throw it there because that's where it's scheduled to go. The play call says it will go there, so they just put it there. Then a defender sees that, jumps in front of the route, catches the ball, and there is no one to stop him. In this case, though, Baker Mayfield actually threw it to a guy in the middle of the field. It hit the guy in the hands, but it bounced off and bounced into a defender's hands instead. And when that kind of thing happens, I don't blame the quarterback because it hit the guy in the hands. He should have either caught it or slowed that thing down enough to where it's just going to fall to the ground. That didn't happen, and unfortunately it led to a pick six. The second turnover was the fumble. I watched it, and Baker Mayfield was in the middle of throwing the ball. A defender pushed his tackle back enough, extended his arm, and got in the middle of the throwing motion. That kind of thing happens to everybody. Like Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Deshaun Kaiser, Case Keenum, Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. It happens to everyone, so when I see it, I'm like, that's unfortunate. So, his first two turnovers, purely unfortunate luck. Which does follow the Raiders and Browns around, so I guess we should have expected it. The second fumble, it might have been Baker Mayfield's fault, or it might have been his center's fault. It was a bot snap where either Baker Mayfield thought the snap was coming later than it actually did, or the center thought he was supposed to snap it earlier than he actually should have. Which one of those is true? I don't know. I don't know which one is to blame, so I'm just gonna leave it hang there. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna cast blame. The final interception, though, I think that was on Baker Mayfield. It was practically a Hail Mary, so it's not as bad as just saying an interception. But he didn't need to push it up the field quite yet. And it did get intercepted, so you can still pin it on him. But either way, he led that offense to 42 points in spite of having 4 turnovers. And when only at most 2 of those turnovers are actually on him, I think that was a pretty good day overall. So I liked what I saw. From the Ravens, they barely edged out the Steelers. I figured it would be a very close game. Now, who actually wins this? I think it's going to be another close game. I'm giving it to the Browns 24-21. It's just really hard to say right now because the Ravens are sharing the top of the AFC North with the Bengals and really don't want to lose it. But there's just so many good things going on with the Browns. As long as their defense plays like it normally does and not like it did against Oakland, they're going to win the game. Dolphins versus Bengals. Well, Dolphins, back to reality. You got put in your place like I figured you would. And the Bengals, like I said, are sharing the AFC North crown with the Ravens right now and really don't want to lose it. So as much as you want to make up for the Patriots game, the Dolphins are not going to take this. They'll lose 27-20. Bengals win. Jaguars against Chiefs. Oh, Chiefs, you nearly lost it. You came that close to losing, arguably should have lost, but that's neither here nor there. And you're on a shortened week, to go up against a team that wants to play exactly like the Broncos do, and they can do it better than the Broncos did. So I'm going to give this one to the Jaguars. If there's any defense that's going to shut out the Chiefs or just keep them weakened, it is going to be the Jaguars. Raiders versus Chargers. Apparently these two teams are bitter rivals. I know, who knew? The Chargers are just better built all around than the Raiders are. The Raiders have shown some good spots, but I don't trust most of it, and I'm certainly not going to trust it against the Chargers. Chargers win this 32-18. Unless the Raiders start using Marshawn Lynch more, in which case, maybe they'll win. Vikings against Eagles. How is this not the Sunday night game? The Vikings have been looking kind of weaker, and so have the Eagles. After a shocking loss to the Titans, it's kind of questionable how good Philadelphia actually is. Now, against the Titans, there is a chance that they blew them off to try and get this win against the Vikings. I don't know, but the Vikings are going to have a tough time after going up against the Rams and then the Eagles. I'm going to give this to the Eagles 20-17. Speaking of the Rams, they are the best team in football, and I would not give a win to anyone if they're against the Rams. Until the Rams prove otherwise, or lose a major player, I'm not going to doubt them, no matter how much the Seahawks may have blown off the Arizona Cardinals to win this game. The Rams have just too much good going for them at basically every position, and I'll give this to them 28-20. Cardinals versus 49ers. The Cardinals were that close to beating the Seahawks, and Josh Rosen actually did a fairly good job, better than I thought he would. Meanwhile, the 49ers are extremely gimped. Without Jimmy Garoppolo, the team is not going to have very much going for it, and teams don't usually stay at 0 wins for long. I know we just got off the Browns' losing streak, but I think the Cardinals are going to get their first win of the season, 24-14. Cowboys versus Texans in Sunday Night Football. Oh goody, the Cowboys again. It's been a whole 2 weeks since I last saw them on Sunday night. Thank you, NFL schedule maker. They're up against the Texans in what I assume going in was supposed to be a big-time battle, but both teams have struggled. But I think the Cowboys can take this 21-10 because while they've struggled, they've been consistent in their struggles. Like, watching the Texans game against the Colts, you're welcome, by the way, Texans. They had great pressure on the quarterback and were amazing at sacking him in the first half. Then the second half came and they got nothing. They've been great at putting up points in the second half of games, but in the first half they do nothing. So the Texans team is just inconsistent. The Cowboys, they do have consistency going for them. It's one of the bright spots alongside Ezekiel Elliott. So I think the Cowboys can take this. They have a good defense, much like the Texans do, but they also have more going for them on offense, like an actual running game, a decent offensive line, a good quarterback. And the Monday night game, Redskins versus Saints. Saints got off to a slow start, as is normal for them, and I think they can get back up here. The Redskins have had a better defense than anyone expected, but I think the Saints are just too good overall, and they can win this one 31-22.